Hey guys, back with another video. In this video I'm going to be doing a review of a very special fragrance. It's a fragrance that I really love and enjoy, and it's called Bogart pour Homme by Jacques Bogart. This fragrance was released 11 years ago, 2004. The perfumes behind this fragrance are Maurice Rossel and Norbert Bougat. Sorry if I butchered that name. They're notable fragrances. I couldn't find anything for Norbert Bougat, but I did find quite a few for Maurice Rossel. He's a very well-known perfume. He's been out for a while, and he's done fragrances such as New Harlem by Bond Number 9 and Riverside Drive by Bond Number 9. He did Musk Ravageur by Frederic Malle, Hypnos Homme by Lancôme, Nautica Voyage, and Rocas Man. Bottle sizes for this one, you can pick it up in just one bottle size. That's a 3.4 ounce, 100 ml, and the price is going to run you anywhere from $15 to $30 USD American. This is the presentation. Alright guys, this is the presentation. As you can see, very nice glass bottle. Has the Bogart insignia right here. The sprayer on this one is very excellent. As you can see, it's indented into this plastic. You have the sticker. Actually, there's not a sticker. It's kind of engraved in there. It's kind of hard to see, but you have all your information. You have the serial number right here, which should match the box. This is the box. Very nice box with the silver stripe going across it. Bogart insignia. That's been it for the presentation. Top notes are lavender and bergamot. Middle notes are orange blossom, lily of the valley, and rose. Base notes are tonka, patchouli, musk, oakmoss, and cedar. Seasons for this bad boy. You can pull it off in the fall and winter strictly. Do not try to attempt this in the summer. And as far as the fragrance goes, it's actually a really good fragrance considering the price. I ordered this about a month ago, and I believe I paid about $16 for the 3.4 ounce, which is this bottle right here. So it's very affordable. What notes do you get out of this one, or at least what do I get out of this one? I get quite a bit of tonka bean, but it's not the more recent or more modern tonka bean. It's more of a old school, nuttier tonka bean, along with the patchouli. I definitely get the patchouli, but it tends to fade after a few minutes. I get it upon first application, but then it kind of just goes away. And I get a lot of rose with this one, actually. And the rose note in this one is very, very phenomenal. Kind of gives it a powdery, floral vibe throughout the duration. I also get a lot of lavender, and the lavender kind of sticks around throughout the entire fragrance duration, and it kind of gives it somewhat of a soapy vibe, along with the tonka bean, which gives it somewhat of a sweet vibe. So it's like a sweet, soapy, rose, floral fragrance throughout most of the duration, and it doesn't really change up much. It's a bit one-dimensional, a bit linear, but it's very well made. It's very well done, well blended, and it's one of those fragrances where you can kind of pick out all the notes. Excuse me. I do get a bit of musk and oakmoss and cedar, and upon the top notes I do get some bergamot, but I don't get a whole lot. This fragrance is never at any point citrusy or aquatic-y. It's very heavy, it's very powdery, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of a mature version of Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Male, mixed with Pure Havane, mixed with Cool Water, which is definitely an awkward sounding combination of fragrances, but the culmination of all those notes come together and create such a very nice soapy vanillic vibe as well. And like in the dry down, I get a ton of vanilla, which makes me think there is definitely vanilla in this, even though it's not listed as a note. I do definitely get some vanilla. Tonka bean in general kind of smells similar to vanilla, but the vibe I get out of the dry down in this fragrance is definitely a vanillic vibe. As I said, you do get a little bit of the oakmoss, you do get a little bit of the cedar in the dry down, but it's never at any point prominent, those notes. as far as Lily of the Valley and Orange Blossom, it kind of does mix with the rose, but the rose is definitely the most prominent flower of the three, including actually lavender as well. They both kind of go head to head with each other. But this fragrance is like I said, it's very well blended, it's very smooth. I paid, as I said, $16, and it's quite possibly one of my favorite fragrances of all time. As far as longevity, this one lasts forever. I say 24 plus hours, although I've only worn this for about 12 hours because I shower twice a day, so that makes it kind of hard for me to gauge longevity, but I'm fairly certain that this one would go above and beyond 24 hours. Projection on this one is incredibly amazing, especially considering that you can wear it in the winter, and it was like 0 degrees. It's actually pretty cold right now, but I wore this a couple days ago when it was like 0 outside. It just cut through the cold. I had a thick pea coat, I had a sweater underneath that, and I was layered with a scarf. I did 2 sprays of this one, and it still projected, and it cut through the cold air, it cut through the layers of clothes, cut through the cold air, and people were still able to smell me, and I was able to smell it throughout the whole day. So projection is amazing. 10 hours, strong projection. This is one of those fragrances that you really want to be careful with, because if you spray too much, you're going to stink up the room, and you're going to make a lot of people walk away from you. This is not the kind of fragrance that you want to have 5 or 6 or even more sprays on while wearing it, because it is so heavy and it can be cloying. Do not underestimate this one. This one is a beast when it comes to performance. 2 sprays maximum, 1 spray if it's not so cold outside. Great value. It's $16 that I paid for it. You can get it really cheap. It's readily available online. There's no excuse for not trying this one. This one is a beautiful scent. It is very reminiscent to me of something like Versace's The Dreamer, in that they're both powdery, floral, and at the same time you mix that, you know, like I said, with Pure Havane and Cool Water and Lamal, and then you got like this beautiful ensemble of notes that just work together so well, and it's just a gorgeous scent. So it also smells very expensive, I think, because of that rose note. That rose note has a very luxurious vibe, and it makes the fragrance smell like $1 million. At least that's how I feel when I wear it. And it's different from other colognes. It's not your typical aquatic, it's not your typical modern scent where everything is just tonka bean and citrusy, and you know, there's really no variance within the fragrances that are being released nowadays. This one is definitely different. It's 11 years old, but it's still modern. Still smells great. This is one of those fragrances that I definitely recommend wearing while you're dressed up. You really don't want to wear this with a t-shirt and jeans. This is not really that kind of fragrance, although you can pull it off, I think, if you have the confidence to. But it's still, I mean, it's definitely a more formal kind of fragrance. Smell, I give it a 10 out of 10. An incredible smell. It's very amazing. And I really love it. It's one of my favorite scents. Longevity is a 10 out of 10. This thing goes on forever. And projection, definitely a 10 out of 10. Projects really well. Versatility, 9 out of 10. I don't really wear this too much casually, but I think you could pull it off. You just need to be a little bit more on the confident side. And compliment factor is definitely a 10 out of 10. You're going to get compliments with this one as long as the attire you wear is suitable with this fragrance. Overall, I give it a 10 out of 10, a perfect 10. This is one of the few fragrances that I've ever smelled, that I've ever owned, that I would honestly give a 10 out of 10. And I'm not even taking into account the value this fragrance offers. I am just giving it a 10 out of 10 because of the smell, because of the performance, because of how beautiful it is, how well blended it is, how natural it actually smells, and the beautiful rose note in this one. I think it's very understated how great this fragrance is, and I think more people need to talk about it. So, that was the end of my review. I'm battling a cold, so it's been kind of hard for me to do any reviews lately, but I'm definitely going to be back with more. I hope you guys had a wonderful New Year's, and I hope you guys have a great 2015. Peace.